Hello, everybody. I am Maria, and I am the admin of the Money Making Esthetician Group. And today we're joined with our Korean skincare queen, and I'm so excited for this demo today. Andrea, so go ahead and take it.
Hey, you guys. I want to introduce myself first. My name is Andrea Snyder. I've been an esthetician for 20 years and in the industry for about 25. And I've been in distribution and education for about 6 years now. I focus primarily on Korean skincare, but I do have a European line and then some American things as well. But my main focus is Korean skincare. I am the owner of Advanced Aesthetics with Andrea Facebook group. That's what I'm really old school. I do have an IG page. I've hired somebody recently to kind of help me out with that. But most of my content goes on Facebook. There's lots of education there. I've been, putting tons of content there for 6 years now. So that's where we have thousands of other SDs, cosmetologists, people who specialize in skincare, nurses, doctors that will contribute to the group. Their protocols, before and after pictures, reviews, things like that. It is a great group if you want to find like-minded people with zero drama. None of that stuff is tolerated there. It's super professional. So great place to check out. Again, it's Advanced Aesthetics with Andrea. My business for distribution and education is Advanced Aesthetics Source. And that is what my website is. So I'll drop a link what those are just for easier finding. It's kind of tricky with the spellings and things. So that is me in a nutshell. Professionally. I am representing the Leaf today. I'm an authorized distributor of the Leaf from GCS. GCS is a South Korean manufacturer. They have products, medical products, aesthetic products, devices, threads, things that we don't use in our treatment room, or most of us don't use. And but they do have a lot of aesthetic treatments as well. So I'm going to read some things from the page just so I make sure to get everything in, just to build a little bit of credibility for GCS in case you're not familiar with their company. GCS is a company focusing on the technological development of skin-related medical aesthetic products and has obtained worldwide recognition through its certifications and patents. They do provide, and I'll provide this to you as well, the FDA certifications and things as well. So the introduction of the Leaf Fusion Plasma, I want to show that to you. I'm going to grab it really quick. It's been charging, so it's ready. Just 1 second, please.
So I also want to let everybody know that I did put the link of the Facebook group and Andrea's website in the chat.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the Leaf. It comes in a box like this. Okay, and it comes with your charging cable, a little manual, and we need to have a little bit of understanding that this is a Korean founding company. They do speak English, but sometimes there are some things that are lost in translation. So if you ever have a question, definitely feel free to ask me. This is the Leaf here. It is a class 1 medical device, and it does not pierce, burn, or cause any visible negative reaction to the skin that could be against or deemed against scope regulations. So let's just say California, for example, because they're super strict. In California, you can't do anything. You can't really even do anything but turns the skin red, technically, as far as an electronic device is concerned. This does not turn the skin red. I know that you guys can nano with the Regenerate specifically because of the makeup of like the carbon tips or whatever the pyramid things are made of. So, and you can't use a normal nano unless they've changed that in the last year or two. I'm not sure. But this has no consumable products, so there's no needles. You can tell it is just like a flat surface, and it does not, you don't really feel heat. It is causing a thermal reaction, and I'll explain here in just a minute, but there is no heat. There's no redness, there's no swelling, there's no erythema, anything like that. They do feel it. It is not painful. It doesn't require numbing, but I've not encountered any state in which it says that this is not within scope. Again, I'm not your legal counsel. I can't guarantee that. But there's no reason why it wouldn't be within your scope. There's no consumables, as I said, so you're not paying for your disposable consumables. The only thing you're going to use with this is the products that you want to use with it to increase efficacy. So we'll go into that in a little bit. The leaf promotes skin absorption of active ingredients by combining three core technologies. It is fusion plasma, electroporation, and microcurrent. You don't have to use all three. If we're in a hurry, if we want to modify or create our own protocols, you can definitely do that with us. And we'll go into that in just a little bit about how to modify treatments so if you don't want to use all three modes. We're going to do a quick little breakdown on it. The fusion plasma mode creates microchannels and it has a lifting effect. It uses the electromagnetic field to create those channels within the skin, not a physical form or pens or nano or anything like that. The electroporation mode is to drive your active ingredients to the cellular level, and then it has microcurrent for lifting and tightening, as well as increasing skin's elasticity. The exclusive function, and I know I'm going to go in kind of quick, but I'm going to break these things down just a little bit further so it'll make a little bit more sense. Exclusive function of the leaf, it's the world's first LOT. So it's lowercase LO and then a capital T. And it's kind of like Korea's version of, it's not quite AI, but it's similar technology, and this was developed and patented a few years ago. So this isn't AI as we know now, this is the tech then. It has a smart interlocking system with a leaf smart update mode. So this function, it allows you to customize each treatment protocol for that specific client's needs and depending on the ingredients that you're choosing to use. So me personally in the treatment room, I often just use the general settings. I don't focus too much on getting super particular or customizing the treatments. You have the option to do that. And I'll show that to you here in a little bit. But if you want to get really more focused on customization to each treatment protocol, you're going to use that Leaf Smart Update. What you do is you go on your phone. You have to have a smartphone to do that with. It pairs, it synchronizes your leaf. There's actually a chip in the bottom of it. And then you go to Leaf Plasma. It's leafplasma.com. That is GCS's link to their smart feature update. Just follow the directions. It prompts you what to choose. You'll pick like, let's say they have dry, or let's say oily, congested skin, but they're kind of dehydrated. You can select all those different things and it will modify. There's 20 different electroporation frequencies, ranging from 1,000 hertz to 40,000 hertz. And it will specifically go to what you input in there, and it will program this to what you need for that specific treatment. And then it also has options of like what products you're wanting to use. Again, you don't have to do all of that. It is a little time consuming. It takes a couple minutes, and there's like a strobe light going on your phone, and you put your leaf down on the phone on the strobe, and they talk to each other, and then it's programmed. And then when you turn your leaf off, it is just reset and it goes back to the general program. And then each time you'll go back, and you can't really save people's history or anything like that. You would just set it each time. Clinical studies show an increased absorption rate of 439% efficacy rate on absorbing those products into the skin. There are clinical studies and data available in my Facebook group in the files section. So it's kind of hard on a Zoom to show. And again, I'm not tech savvy, so I can't really like do PowerPoint or anything like that to show you guys, but it's all in my file section, all the data. You guys can research it there. It shows the different levels in which the channels will take the product, how long it stays there. They do test it on pig skin, so you can kind of, see. Okay, so let's start with the technologies. So plasma, it's a gaseous state. It's heated to an ultra high temperature state. When there's ions when the ions have electrons and positive charges in a separated state, it's called fourth state of matter or energy. The functions that does for the plasma, remember, it creates its mode 1 on the device. This button, the top button here, it is for the microchannels. And what this does, it regenerates new skin by delivering a large amount of energy inside the skin tissue. It induces continuous skin regeneration by creating new collagen in the dermis by causing thermal changes on the outside of the skin. Again, you don't feel burning. You do feel a sensation, but it's not hot. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't leave a redness. There's no swelling. And also by transmitting stimulation to the inside of the skin, melanin pigment is suppressed with a slight heat loss. With active oxygen generated from molecules generated by plasma, it sterilizes various viruses and acne. And controlled temp to reduce side effects such as tissue heat damage and pigmentation. So it doesn't get hot to where it's going to activate the melanocytes. You can use it on melasma, you can use it on hyperpigmentation, PIH, things like that. Your second mode here is the middle button, and it is electroporation. And through electric pulses, a temporary corridor is formed in the cell membrane, which helps the absorption of the active ingredient. So kind of how I break it down to my clients is that first mode, we're going to create microchannels without the use of needles. Again, I know there are nano pens that don't have needles per se, but we're just breaking it down to layman's terms where our clients will understand. They don't care really about the details usually. So first mode, we're going to do the plasma microchannel that's going to open up the channels. Then the second mode, electroporation, is going to allow us to drive our chosen serum down to the dermis, to the cellular level. And then the third mode here is microcurrents, and it's an electric current of less than 1,000 UA. It's released to stimulate the muscles and to help create cells. So if I only wanted to use this device, say, to create microchannels and do electroporation, I can do that. There is a preset amount of time for each mode of 5 minutes. So I'm going to do, and I'll demo this here for you in a minute, but I'm going to do 5 minutes on the mode 1, creating the microchannels, and then it automatically switches to mode 2, electroporation. I'm going to do that for 5 minutes. Automatically switches to mode 3, microcurrent, going to do that for 5 minutes. Now, I do not have to do mode 3, and I usually don't, unless that's, more of an upgraded service. I'm not a huge fan of microcurrent for like long-term benefits, just because it requires a lot of time and maintenance, and my clients just aren't that, into that. So, but it does, this leaf provides amazing pictures for before and afters. If you are in my group, my Facebook group, go to the search option, magnifying glass, type in leaf, and then like everything will pop down for the last 6 years. Tons of pictures that you can see of myself and other estheticians providing. There is leaf certification and dissertation on this for the fusion plasma function, biometrics, artificial function of electroporation technology, interlocking technology with smartphone, that programming thing I told you about, and IEEE access, thesis included, and international academic journals. And again, that stuff can be found in the file section of my Facebook group. So let's get into the device a little bit more, like as far as like the tech side of things, like internal. The device has the 3 level options that I told you about. It has, again, operation button. The top is the fusion plasma, middle is smart boosting mode, which is electroporation, and the bottom is microcurrent. It is a rechargeable device through the bottom here, and it comes with your charger, just not the box. So it's one of those standard micro USB cords, and it's somewhere around here. I'll show it to you later, but it is included. The box, your box charging box, is not included. So it also comes with a cradle. So the cradle, over time, the charging port can wear out. So when that happens, just so you know, you can either charge it through the cradle and set your device into the cradle, or you can take the power cord and charge it directly into the bottom of the handpiece. Either way, it'll get charged. We can incorporate this into the treatment room. I did forget to mention, if you guys have questions, definitely feel free to ask those. And at the end of it, we're going to try to go through and answer them. I'm trying to get it. Okay. Okay, so you can do this with facials. What I do in the treatment room is I incorporate it into my already existing facials. So all my pricing was modified to include the leaf because I use it in almost every single treatment. So some people will say, okay, if you want to do an add-on of the leaf, that's what it's going to be, or they'll do an upcharge. I just know I'm going to use it because it steps up your treatment that much more. So I priced everything out to include the leaf. So I'm in Missouri, Midwest town, very small town. And we don't have the same price points as like on the coasts. So my hour facial with the leaf is 155. Again, you can do whatever you want to do, but like I said, we're on the lower spectrum of pricing. And so depending on the products that you're using with it, so if I'm going to use peptides or more advanced facial products, I will go up to, if I'm going to spend a 90-minute, I charge 195. So just to give you an idea of that price point, I know people's, some of the SEs in Cali are charging, 225, 250 to use the leaf in the facial. Standalone pricing, we kind of discussed that. It's only 5 minutes. So some people are like, should I just do a leaf treatment? Well, your 5-minute mode 1, 5-minute mode 2, 5-minute mode 3, that's like 15 minutes plus cleansing, moisturizing. Like, I guess if you wanted to do an express, you could definitely do that. But I feel like it really does need to be incorporated into a longer treatment session. Some people ask me if this replaces nano or does it replace microneedling? So I'll tell you, it can technically replace nano. I do feel that there is a time and a place for nano still. If you wanted to get, if you only wanted to treat the eyes and do more detail work around the lips, if you want to get pretty close to the eye, this can go to the eye. You can go to the lash line with it. You can go around the mouth, but I'll tell you, like the tip of this. Well, sometimes if you have like an elongated nose, like which may have like that ball drop, like if it touches the tip of the nose, it can kind of give you a little zing. Or if it touches the lip on accident, it gives it like a little shock. So obviously those things aren't appealing in a service. So if you wanted to only focus on that upper lip area, only focus around the eye, nano is still appropriate. This will not replace microneedling. So it doesn't cause that same controlled wound that we're trying to create, right? As with, there's never going to be pinpoint bleeding. We're never going to get to that point of microneedling. They do claim, the leaf claims that this can help with scarring, but I don't like ice pick scarring, box scarring, things like that. I have not seen significant improvements with those types of things. Now with like PIH, hyperpigmentation, things like that, absolutely. But I would not replace your microneedling with a leaf. So if you wanted to put it on a scale, you're going to say nano as far as depth, then leaf, and then microneedling. So it kind of, spans that way. I still offer all three, but you don't have to. Okay,
We do
so
have a quick question. Can you
sure.
use it on top of any serum or mask?
Um, no. So people ask me, is the leaf brand specific? Because like everything that you're going to see I offer with the Korean skincare. Sorry, somebody was just trying to come in. Or the product line Decembre or Koru, the lines that I specify in. I do that because that's what I sell, right? So I'm not going to promote or advertise or teach on something that I don't sell because I don't study those. So you're definitely your serums are going to be like water based. You don't want to do an oil based product to drive into the skin, right? So your masks you don't want to. I did bring a few things to kind of give you ideas of that when we're doing the demo. I was going to kind of present that a little bit. So yes, you can go over some masks. You can go not cream masks, not rubber masks, not jelly masks, obviously. You'll want it to be like a serum, like water-based mask. And I'll show you guys a few examples of those. So you can use whatever product line you want to. My rule of thumb is if you would not nano it, I would not leaf it. So whatever rule of thumb that you used for your business, some people are comfortable nanoing or leafing in chemical peels. I personally don't do that. But you have great results for those that do. So it's really going to be like your call. And we'll discuss that a little bit further as we go on. And then, okay, this is a good chance to discuss that then before I go on to contraindications. So your masks, I'll show you, and I'll show this to you all when I do my demo. So this is a peptide mask. So it kind of has like that silk kind of skin-like adhesion to the skin, and your leaf will glide over it. I want you to get really close I don't know if you'll see it, but there is a little bit, it's like raised or lifted just the tiniest bit. So if you have one of those sheet masks that don't adhere to the skin really well, and you glide it over, sometimes it will catch and snag, and it's just annoying to you. You know, it doesn't hurt anything. It just, you know, it's not smooth. So you definitely want it to be a nice fitting adhesion mask. And then your serums, again, you want it to be water-based. I will show you the ones I'm going to use in my facial as I show you the demo. But one that my best-selling serum is the Illuminate. It's Skin Remedy. It's produced. It was my formulation, and the company that makes Desambre, the manufacturer, their lab actually formulated it for me. Like put the ingredients together because I don't know quantity, you know. So they produce this for me, and it has acetyl hexapeptide 8, hence the illuminate, the 8 on the ends. And that is going to be like the Botox-like peptide. So it doesn't freeze or paralyze the muscle, it actually slows the signal, the peptide that communicates your brain to contract that muscle. So it slows that signal. Okay. Contraindications. Obviously, if they have a skin disease, skin irritation, infection, you don't want to use it in that area. In conjunction with other corrective treatments such as laser, anything that's they're going to make their skin really raw and sensitive. So if you're doing a really intense peel, don't use it with that. If they're pregnant, breastfeeding, all your common ones that we expect with any kind of electrical device. Metal allergies, severe heart disease, if they have a fever, obviously that means they have infection, severe blood pressure abnormalities, if they're on steroids, if they're children under 12, if they have severe acne. With that said, it's awesome for acne, but if they have huge pustule acne that is very, very sore, I wouldn't use it over, because you do have to glide and put pressure. And again, it's metal and it is a little lifted, so it could cause, you know, some discomfort. Any areas with a mucous membrane, so genitalia, inner nose, earlobes, these are specific things that they mentioned. And no area with metal prosthetic devices, any electronic device implant, such as like a bladder box, a heart monitor, there's like pulse things that they put on the back. So anything like that has like electrical stimulation, we're not going to use on those people. And then after shaving or waxing in that same area, we're not going to use it over that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and demo the leaf. And I put on a full face of makeup because I wanted to show you guys a couple really cool cleansers. And okay, so this is the Hemp Peak. It's made from the same makers as the Desambre. And this is a great pre-cleanse. It is an oil cleanser to remove makeup. And I'm gonna look crazy for a second. And this even works for waterproof makeup. And those of you who don't know me, I just want to let you know I do have melasma really, really, really bad. And I had it under control, and then it was summer. So I decided this year that I wanted to actually enjoy the summer, instead of being paranoid about my skin and not enjoying time with my family. So I just made the decision to not care. So that's what's happened this summer, and my melasma is just crazy, and I'll deal with it this fall. So, anyways, I'm coming to the realization that we should live life and enjoy it. Um, okay. So, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like melted everything.
We had a quick question, which I will also add to the newsletter, but are you able to list each product that's being used? Sorry, my
Sure.
connection cuts out in and out, and it's hard to hear the names. But also in the newsletter, I'm going to make sure that everything is added.
Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, I look crazy red. I'm not really that red.
You look beautiful.
Thanks. Okay, so now that our makeup is mostly off, I'm going to use Desembre's Oxy Peel Bubble Mask Cleanser. And it's this pink stuff. So this is So I use the Hemp Peak oil cleanser for pre-cleanse, and then I use this in my back bar. I do this for everybody. So we're gonna do a couple pumps of the cleanser, the Oxypeel Bubble Mask Cleanser. I'm
I'm
gonna get kind of
obsessed with this
close.
cleanser, by the way.
Say what?
I said I'm obsessed with this cleanser, by the way. I also want to
Same.
encourage everybody else. So our motto for 2024 is don't suffer in silence. So I hope you guys are encouraged to turn on your mics and ask all the questions from this point forward.
Yeah, that's great. So it's oxygenating. My hair out of the way. So I'm just gonna leave it for a second. Sorry if I'm flashing you guys. Hold on. Um, okay, so it's oxygenating and it bubbles as you leave it. It does have some exfoliating properties, but it's not like anything major. It has a tingly, bubbly feeling. It's invigorating. It's not hot. And I always feel like this is kind of a treatment in itself. It's a great way to start the facial instead of just like typical boring cleanser, you know? And it lasts a long time because it doesn't take much. So I'm gonna let that sit for a sec. I would let it sit a little longer in the treatment room, but just for demo's sake, we'll press on. So I added a little bit of water. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more. And I'm gonna use my towel and remove that.
So I actually had a question
Uh-huh.
while you're washing your face. Um, for I was just looking at the evaluation of absorption uh, file that you had for the studies they did on the pig skin, and they
Uh-huh.
said that for those ones that the pig skin was about 2 to 2.5 millimeters thick. So for skin thickness with your clients, do you need to maybe stay with like the lower levels of level 1 and 2 versus doing like 2 or 3 on clients that have thinner versus thicker skin? Because I do have a client that I'm working with right now. They, when I started seeing them, they started going through a hormone replacement hormone replacement therapy, and
Uh-huh.
they are like their skin has thickened up over the past maybe 9 months that I've been seeing them going from, skin that has less testosterone to now having more testosterone. So like they
Mhm.
and myself can feel the difference in thickness. Do I need to be using less of the mode 2s and 3s on my thinner skin clients and using something a little bit, more powerful like mode 3 for my thicker clients?
So that really isn't um as important. Well, I start everybody off at mode one. It's not mode one, I apologize. Your level one, your lowest setting. And then I increase it to whatever they're, what they can tolerate. So your thicker skin people, I would definitely, because their nerves aren't gonna be as close to the surface, right? As if somebody had thinner skin. So I would definitely increase it to their tolerance. You're gonna find it's not gonna impact the um, efficacy of the products. It's just you want them to feel it. So your thinner skinned people, I would probably do on setting one, and then your thicker, definitely go up to mode or the level three. But they're going to get results either way, is what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're saying. I've noticed that I started testosterone as well a few years back, and I definitely see a difference. Um, okay, so you need to have clean, dry skin to use leaf mode one. If you have product on your skin, it can actually spark, it can burn you. So it can, like, for example, somebody that I know, Hispanic, she used it on wet skin and it created a little PIH spot on her. So you want to make sure it's definitely dry. Um, Another person was using powder because you'll find that it kind of like it's like like it's not like super smooth glide, and it's like you don't like that, you know, catchy feeling. So you need to pull the skin taut if that's happening, and it can still kind of be a bumpy, not smooth glide, which is not doing anything negatively. It just isn't like super comfortable feeling. So there was some SEs that were putting powder on the face to help with that glide. I had never heard of this, so I reached out to GCS and I said, "Hey, what is this thought?" And they actually, and since more than one person was doing it, I think it's worth mentioning, in case other people are doing it as well. That actually creates a friction electromagnetic situation on the skin with the powder, and it can actually electrocute somebody. So absolutely don't use powder on the skin. So you need to clean dry skin.
So we have
Another
a question that says, "Hey
Sure.
Andrea, do you ever do more than 5 minutes on leaf mode 1?"
I don't, because I don't find that there's really a reason to. Okay, so I'm going to use Hemp Peak toner. You don't have to do this. Or use any toner that you have. And I know I said clean, dry skin. So if you're gonna put this on, you need to let it dry. It's still technically clean. You don't want to have like an oily toner, that's gonna leave a residue. And the reason I do this is I found that it helps with that weird bumpy sensation. It glides a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna dry. Okay, so we're gonna turn, well, this is drying. We're gonna turn our device on. You're gonna press and hold this upper button. That's the power button. So the leaf technically has LED. Yes, technically it does, but to promote it as such, I think is a little misleading. Like if you know anything about LED light therapy, this is not going to do much, So to like advertise and promote, hey, this is LED therapy, like, yeah, sure it is, but it's not enough to really promote that service with this. Okay, so you're going to hear a pulsing. You're going to feel the vibration in the handle. And this is on the countdown. Let's start it again. Let me start over. I apologize. So I'm pressing and hold it down, the top button for power off. We're going to start back over. Press and hold it down.
Start fusion plasma mode.
Start fusion plasma mode. It's going, this timer started for 5 minutes. This is going to go for 5 minutes on this mode. This is mode 1. But say I want to increase, say I've been doing it for a minute and I feel that I want to take my client up to the next mode, increase strength. So I'm going to press this again, because right now, if you look at these little 3 dots, 1, 2, 3, the first one's lit up. I want to go to the second power strength. I'm going to press mode 1 again. And she just said level 2. So now my timer started over. So I need to be mindful. I've already done a minute. So now I'm only going to do like 4 minutes. So just guess. You can watch a timer. And then say I want to go to level 3, press it again.
Level 3.
That's the strongest power. Again, started that timer clock over. It's 5 minutes now. So be mindful of that. Okay, so we're gonna do, we won't do the full 5 minutes. We're gonna pretend I'm doing 5 minutes. So it doesn't really matter the direction, but like it's not gonna impact the technology, the delivery. But it's just always good to, move up and out, just like to get the same rhythm so clients kind of know what to expect. So always, rule of thumb up and out. Again, it doesn't really matter on this mode. It has a prickly sensation. It doesn't feel hot. Now, if I were to like get the tip of my nose, it will zap me. It's not like high frequency where you have to touch the wand to touch the face to avoid the shock. You don't have to do that. You just touch the skin.
A minute passed.
And she talks to you. And I'll show you how to turn her off, because obviously that is not relaxing in a facial. You don't want to hear a robot voice. So I'm just taking it all over my face. I can go down my neck. I'm going to avoid the thyroid. And I guess I'd go up, wouldn't I? Some people are uber sensitive to this, and they're like, ooh, they kind of like move. It to me, it does not feel like that, but some people are a little more hypersensitive than others. So just go off of what your client can tolerate, what they're comfortable with. And it does feel invigorating, like my skin feels stimulated right now, and these channels are being opened. If I wanted to use, if you guys are familiar with spicules or spicules, however you decide you want to say it, 2 minutes past, you can use this mode 1 to open that micro channels, and then you can go in to use your spicules, and they will go in a little less trauma as you're massaging those into the skin. And I don't personally use mode 2, the electroporation with spicules, but there are definitely people who do that and get crazy great results. So that'll be a call for you to make in your treatment room. Okay, so let's pretend that I've done this for 5 minutes, and we're going to use mode 2. We're going to do electroporation, and I need to find a serum that I can use. I can either use peptides, I can use exosomes, I can use anything I would use for microneedling, something I feel comfortable using with nanoneedling. The anaphoresis, this is a little bit deeper than that. So, I guess if you're using ascorbic acid, vitamin C, use just caution with that. Some people might feel a little bit more irritated by that. But for today, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the Illuminate, and then I'll save my SPDRN serum for the end. So I'm going to, if you're going to use the Illuminate, this is only good for 24 hours once it's opened. So what I do is I'll use half the ampule. I'll put the little cap back on it, and then I send this home with the client, tell them use this up within the next 24 hours, throw it away if there's anything left over, but there never is anything left over. So if you want to use this for clients and not send it home with them and let it not go to waste, when you open it, when you take off the little metal ring, what happens is this little rubber stopper pops up, it opens, oxygen gets in, and then it starts breaking down. So if you leave this metal ring on it, don't remove that, it exposes, you just pop out this white cap. It exposes the rubber seal with the metal color still on, and you can take your needle, draw it up through, and it will last you several weeks. She's still talking. So I'm going to go ahead and put my chosen serum.
So quick question, how often are leaf treatments recommended?
Technically, okay, so in South Korea, they offer this as a home care device. We don't here, but in South Korea they do. And so you could technically use it per the manufacturer every single day. I personally disagree. I'm sure they know more than me, but I feel like creating microchannels on a daily can be a little overstimulating. So that'll be your call. So if you wanted to do, every week, if you have somebody coming in for a series, you could absolutely do that. Okay, so
Does the warmth of the plasma fusion affect melasma?
It does not. Like it not negatively. It's just going to help. As I mentioned in the beginning, it actually slows the melanocytes and the pigmentation. So we went to this.
Level 2.
And then I'm going to hit again.
Level 3.
For mode 3, this is mode 2 electroporation to drive that serum that I put on down deeper. Now this feels pretty wicked. You can feel the tightening, you can feel the pooling, you feel I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it was a little much for me. It's definitely a feeling. Does not hurt, it's just really, really weird. And then I'm going to go in the direction as if you're going to do microcurrent, up and out. You can use this mode on face and neck. People have asked, can they use it on body? The manual says it is for face, not body. But GCS has said, yes, you can use it on body. So I think it is more of a liability thing that they have to put that in the manual, more because of FDA documentation. So, but you can use it on body. So I'm just going up and out. Again, you don't have to put your hand on it like high frequency. Okay, and I'm going to do that for the 5 minutes.
A minute passed.
And again, she's talking to you. And I'll show you guys how to turn that off here after I'm done with the microcurrent part. Okay, so I'm going to do that. See, when you ask, can you go longer than 5 minutes? Like that 1 minute is really long. So times 5 minutes, like there's really no reason. You should be able to cover the entire surface area. I'm going to go ahead and do this side real quick too. You can go over eyelids. I just don't go beyond the bone. You can feel your hair, like the nerves. You can feel like your scalp when you're using your forehead, doing your forehead and eye area. You can feel the right in your scalp.
Two minutes passed.
If a person were to have a nose ring or an eyebrow ring or Maryland, piercing or whatever, they really should take it out. Now, I have done it where I took my finger and covered their piercing and then just kind of like dodged it. They don't get the full treatment in that area, obviously, because your finger is blocking it. So I just kind of give them that option. Do you want to take it out and not have that area completely treated, or do you want to remove it? And they almost always just leave it in, but up to them. You just don't want to touch it with the metal. Okay, so let's pretend we did that for 5 minutes. Face and neck, no thyroid. And then I'm going to, actually, I'm going to use, and like I said, you can modify your protocols. I'm going to grab some gel really quick.
3 minutes passed.
Let's open up a new one. I forgot to grab mine from my back bar. Okay, so this is the Sombre's 24 karat gold and collagen gel. And this is great for RF or for microcurrent as a conduction gel. So I just put a little pump. And then I'm going to switch up to mode 3 microcurrent.
Start microcurrent lifting mode. Level 2.
I went to level 2 for myself. And this you do go up and out because it's microcurrent. Go a little bit slower. And each mode you're going to hear pulsing and you're going to feel like the vibration in the handle. I feel like this microcurrent, you can feel a little bit of warmth, but it's your standard microcurrent feeling. Okay, so we're gonna pretend we did this for 5 minutes. Okay, so say that you're in like a deep relaxing facial and your client, you don't want them to have to hear all that business with the talking. I'm going to turn off the voice activation. So I'm going to press and hold down this bottom one.
Level 3. Beep sound.
So this one is now going to do your beep when your 5 minutes is up. Okay. But I don't want that either. I want to be completely silent. I'm going to press and hold this down again, the third button. And you heard that little noise. So now it's on silent mode. Okay, and you're just going to do your thing. You're going to notice you're at 5 minutes, the color of your head will change. That LED will change. So that's kind of like your indicator, hey, it's time to switch or whatever. So I want it back on. Press and hold down.
Voice guide.
And it said voice guide.
Start fusion plasma.
Back on. Okay. Oops, I just put that on my not clean dry skin. Okay. So, and then for the individual setting, remember when I told you can customize it, you're going to press and hold this middle button once the little flashing strobe is on your phone.
Start boost mode, normal skin, start smart update. Please put leaf on your phone screen and wait about 10 seconds.
and you would put it on there. The chip talks to your phone, and then that will put the setting whenever it decided that it needs to be. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this off. Press and hold the upper button.
Plasma mode.
It turned off, and this is a step I would either put a collagen mask or like a peel off mask. This is Koru's. This is a Korean line as well, and this is an alginate mask. It's not a jelly mask, so it still rubberizes and you peel it off. But I'm going to use this peptide mask because I want to show it to you guys. This is one of my top selling masks. So it comes in this double-sided like paper covering. So I'm going to peel off one side. Okay, it does have eyes, but I'm going to take those down because I want to see. Okay, so it still has that paper. I'm going to take that. This is way easier to do on your client, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to take this outer paper off. And it adheres to the skin. And this would go over the eyes. And it's a lot of the masks are so small, you know, you don't cover up if you had somebody's head that's a little bit larger. This one's really good for those people as well, men too, because their heads are typically a little bigger. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this away. And I'm gonna get my leaf back out. Because sometimes, like, I don't do massage in the treatment room. I cannot stand it. Let's wipe the serum off. I don't have a dry towel here. Okay, so sometimes you're like, what am I going to do for, 10 minutes or whatever? So I'm going to turn this back on. I'm going to jump to mode 2, electroporation.
Skin regenerate level 2.
Okay, and I'm just going to put it on here, and I'm just going to glide over the mask. Now, if this was a mask that didn't cling to the skin so well, like this could possibly grab and snag it. We have a product called Oxyjet Elixir, and it has a oxygenating mask that bubbles. And
which mode is this?
This is mode 2, the electroporation, to drive the serum, the peptides down. And I did not have to use mode 1, the channels. Like it is going to work better if you use channels. We used them earlier in the service. But if you just want to use mode 2, you have that choice. You can do that. And you're still going to get benefit from it. If I only want to offer microchannels for, say, the spicules, you absolutely can do that. You can customize and modify your treatment however you want to. If I only want to use, I rarely use microcurrent. I rarely use that third feature, but I know a lot of people do. So I use it for the channels and the driving down. That's kind of my focus with it. Like I was saying with that oxygenating mask, it grows bubbles really big. And if I'm going to, or some masks have tons of serum where it's like dripping, like our 3-in-1 silk mask, it has a ton of serum. If you get too much on this and it gets into the electrical components, it can damage your leaf. So be mindful of what you're doing and don't get too much product into it. It is electronic, so you don't want to get it wet. It does have a warranty. It's a 1-year manufacturer warranty that's handled directly through GCS. And They just changed their policy where, because they had a lot of people submitting it under the warranty, not from our group, but there's other distributors that are submitting it saying that there was like an issue because they're near the end of that warranty, submitting it hoping to get a new device. And there was not anything wrong with it. And the expense of the shipping, the freight shipping internationally, because it goes to South Korea to be repaired or tested. And so they now, if you have to return your device within that 1 year, they're implementing a $100 freight cost. It costs $150 to ship it and to ship it back to you. They're picking at 50 and they ask you to pay 100. So this is going to eliminate people, sending it in for no reason, which is not awesome. I understand. And I'm fighting them on that right now. And it's not just on me, it's on all the distributors. And we hope they overturn, got my nose. We hope that they overturn that decision. So I would say when it catches your nose, when you guys were kids, or some of you adults, I don't know. Did you ever lick the end of a 9-volt battery, like the square battery, and it would shock your tongue? I grew up in a trailer park, so those are the things that we did. So anyways, that's kind of like the zap that it gives you. Okay, so that came up. Okay, so we're gonna say that's been 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. I'm gonna turn off my leaf, rub in my serum.
So we have a question. Because mode 1 is sterilizing, can it be used after extractions?
Yeah, it can. Yeah. If you're using it specifically for that and not necessarily create microchannels, I would stick to high frequency. More so for sterilization effect, because if you're going to do that, if you're going to do extractions followed by products that you're not going to want to drive in, that you don't going in,
What kind of mask did you just use?
I use it's a Dermagarden. So Hyunjin is the manufacturer of Decembre, Hemp Peak, and Dermagarden. So those 3 lines are all from Hyunjin. Dermagarden, that's the mask I was just using. It's the 7 Pepta peptide sheet mask. So it's dry now. And so I'm going to clean my leaf. I'm not going to let it sit on there. So usually when my client is like, I'm letting that dry, I'm going to go ahead and wipe my leaf down. So I wiped the excess serum off, and then I'm going to use barbicide on my square cotton wipe. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to clean it off. And I just let it sit there and dry. You cannot soak it, right? Because it's an electronic device. And you technically can use an alcohol wipe, but it will eventually tarnish that metal base. So like I've had this for 5 years and it's still sparkly, like brand new. So the alcohol will tarnish it and will turn like a brown. And it started having like a texture too. So it doesn't ruin the device, it just can ruin the experience, So after I use, do my mask, I'm going to go ahead and use my PDRN. And Maria, you did a spread on this not too long ago. PDRN is derived from we're going to say salmon DNA, but technically it's salmon sperm. And I've asked them to provide me, how does one get salmon sperm? And they're getting documentation for me. So, and it's not a bad experience from what they're saying. So, okay. And then I'm going to use Decembre's Water Drop SPF. And this is perfect if you have higher fits clients. There's no gray or white cast. It's not thick and chalky. So men like this, high fits people like this. So it goes on going to show you. It's like a serum consistency. So you got to shake it because it does separate. So it's like a serum consistency. See? And then I go ahead. And so like with microneedling, I would not go these extra steps, right? I'm not going to put SPF and moisturizer and all that on after needling, but after leaf, I do. Okay, so there's my SPF. It gives a beautiful glow. It has epidermal growth factors in it, so it's your skincare. And also, this is my #1 selling in my treatment room. This is my #1 selling product. Everybody buys it. And then I'm going to use the PDRN cream from Derma Garden. This has spider polypeptide 1 peptide. I'm gonna, can you see this? That is that spider polypeptide making a mess, but so I'm gonna take this and put it on my face. It is great for lifting, tightening, anti-aging, and it feels luxurious, and it's super affordable. Okay, so those that want to stick around, I was going to show you guys the difference between different kind of plasmas, because this question was asked to me. So cold, I'm going to kind of do it in the order. Leaf, it is plasma technology, fusion plasma technology. We went through all of this. You saw no spark, no redness, no pain, you know, no swelling. Okay. Then one level up from that is cold plasma. And this is GCS's cold plasma machine. So this is the plasmatic and made in South Korea. It's cold plasma. Cold plasma actually generates ozone. Ozone in small amount is good because it's sterilization, great for acne, kills P. acne bacteria. A little bit of ozone is great. Cold plasmas generate a lot of ozone, which is actually lots of free radicals, creates premature aging, right? So we, GCS, so all cold plasmas machines generate a negative amount of ozone. GCS is the first and only, unless this has changed in the last month or two, to have a filter that filters out the excess ozone. And I'm going to turn this on. I just want to show you guys the difference. So you saw the leaf. I'm going to put this on continuous mode. Let's go on 5. And I wonder if I can turn off this light enough that it will, if you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to start this. That blue light going on shows that the ozone's being filtered. And on clean, dry skin, ooh, yikes, did you see it? I'm going to turn it down a little bit. It was a little much. Can you see the sparks coming out? So this is a little painful. You don't really see marks, but it is going to create erythema, redness. I do have to numb for this. It's not like microneedling painful, like at a 1 or 1.5. It's not like that. It's a different feeling, but it does hurt. It does create a little bit of swelling. It does create redness. So this is going to be a step up from the leaf. Okay. Then the other plasma. So I've seen people on social media calling the leaf, like promoting it to their clientele. The leaf, they're saying this is cold plasma. This is not cold plasma. Completely different tech. So this is the leaf. That is cold plasma. And then this is the Premier, the premium Premier. Actually, this is the original one. My other one's at work. So this is going to create plasma. This is the strongest. It's for fibroblasting. So it actually creates like little burn marks. Here we go. It'll create burn marks, and that has to heal for, you know, a week or whatever. So they're all technically classified as class 1 FDA. Whether you agree or disagree, that's not the topic of this conversation. But They're all from GCS. They are all plasma, but different tech behind it. So they're not made equal. They're not the same. You don't want to interchange names to, misadvertise or whatever. We are doing a promo. The regular price is $449, and for the next week, what is today? Yeah, for the next week. If you only want to purchase the leaf, so if you're a regular buyer of mine, or if you're only interested in the leaf, you can do 10% off using the code LEAF, LEAF 10. We'll put the link also. If you are wanting to buy other things, and you're a first-time buyer, you can get 10% off your entire order by putting in welcome, WELCOME, welcome 10. So if you're only wanting leaf, or if you're a frequent buyer of mine, it's leaf 10. If you want other items as well, you'll use welcome 10, and that will give you the leaf and other things as well. Maria, do we have any other questions?
I actually had one more question before I have to head out to another meeting.
Okay.
So for the mode 1, I saw, like, obviously using it on dry skin. I do have those gauze sheet masks that you can use with high frequency as well. Would that help aid in the amount of like effect that the skin is getting, or do you just run that over the dry skin?
It has to be in direct contact with the skin. So that would be a hindrance. Like, it would prevent it from getting a full effect if you use the gauze.
Okay, and then I saw somebody
Mhm.
else ask, and I had the same question. Is there any reason for mode number 2, when you're infusing those serums, to ever lift and press down to stamp it around, or to, press and hold a little bit with more pressure? Does that help in the efficacy of absorption?
That's a good question. You do not want to hold it in one place. You can burn them. So you always want to keep it moving. You can stamp. I mean, there's different methods of application that you can do. I don't know really that there's a benefit. I've seen people do that. But I personally prefer the glide, because when you come in contact with the person, like when you're doing a facial and you come away from them and then you go back to touch them and it like startles them and you jump, they kind of jump or twitch. It's kind of like the same thing. So like having that direct contact with them and staying on a rhythm, I feel like the application is more enjoyable than touching them, startle, touch, startle, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But as far as like efficacy, as long as that current is going into contact with the skin and the product, that doesn't matter necessarily. It's just more
Okay.
about the experience. I did
Okay,
want to
thank you.
say, yeah, you're welcome. I do want to say that the Meso Heal, for people who want to microneedle or nano or do the leaf, if you're nervous about penetrating products down, because some people are like super, like, I'm not putting anything in the skin after we open channels. The Meso Heal sheet mask by Koru is made specifically for post needling. So that is an option. And then yeah, there's tons of protocols on the website underneath the education tab. Go under education, go to protocols, and then a lot of our protocols have the leaf protocol if you want to incorporate the leaf, or if you don't want the leaf, to incorporate it without the leaf. So there's lots of options.
So we have two questions. Do you think
Yeah.
that this microcurrent mode can replace like the big microcurrent machines? And then two, how is cold plasma different from the leaf?
Okay, so the cold plasma, as I demoed it, it is significantly stronger. The hertz is significantly higher. It creates redness and swelling. It is going to be more along the lines of microneedling without piercing the skin. You're creating that control wounds. You're likely need to numb. It's great for super active acne, in which the leaf is not, if it's like super inflamed. Yeah, that's the general. The leaf is $449, so $400 after your discount. The cold plasma is like $3,200, so it is significantly different. And the other question was, sorry, the microcurrent. No, it's not going to replace a $10,000 to $15,000 machine. I'm going to compare it to a handheld microcurrent machine versus a huge tabletop one, as far as strength and efficacy. Any other questions? Hello.
I'm waiting to see if anybody else.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, did I lose you?
No, I'm waiting. Alrighty. Well, if we don't have any more questions.
Okay, and then I will mention that if you're interested in other products other than the leaf, I do offer a product discovery call. You can order that through the website. It's $100 for 30 minutes of my time, but then you get $100 credit back for product credit that you use on your order. So it doesn't cost you anything. This just helps. I was having some situations where people were, having me help them for lots of amounts of times and then not buying anything. So that kind of helps, avoid that. So anyways, if you guys want help creating a first time order or need help with a protocol or anything like that, then you can definitely reach out and do it that way.
Is there a recording of the leaf being used?
What do you mean?
So is there a recording of the leaf?
No, just this right here. I used to offer an online training, and what happened was people would come use my online training and buy from other distributors, and I became bitter, and I don't want to be that person. So I ended up just taking it down. I'm actually, thank you for bringing that up. I'm creating a training for the leaf. It should be launched this fall, and so if you guys want to attend that, it'll be available. It'll go a little bit more in depth into the structure of the skin, a little bit more in depth into the tech side of things. So. Yeah.
Perfect. If you guys want the replay, please subscribe to the website. I'm also going to add all the products that you used. And then I also put the group in the chat and your website in the chat. Oop.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.